It was the NQ Tropics field day where Roger Savoury spoke. We'd been exposed to Roger's learnings some years before, but hearing it in our own backyard, it seemed to make sense. We just felt that it was definitely worth following up and being involved.
He was talking about a lot of things that day and created a lot of pictures in your mind about what your environment could look like. And we really just pondered on that aspect of, what if even just a fraction of what he's saying could be done at Glenalpine, what a difference that would make. We'd heard about holistic management and that, and thought we've got to get on board with this project to see what it's about and where it can take us.
We had the skills through business and cattlemanship skills, so we're just really to get stuck into something and sort of push ourselves a bit further than what we already were doing. We have used large numbers of cattle, herds of cattle, to improve soil health. We camped 1,200 head of weaners in two spots just beside each other and created about an inch of slurry of dung and urine. And we saw an incredible result in just probably 6 months after the first bit of rain. And just seeing what come up, it just sort of triggered a way forward for us that we could fix gullies in 1 year, instead of taking probably 5, 6, 7 years of fencing off and just nursing along. In 1 year, we could actually change that problem or that scar there.
So we removed the fence after we did the project, and 6 months into no rain, and that area is still bright green, and everything else outside had hayed off. And then the next year, again, there's plants within that are still green and everything else around it. And you can see the line. That was pretty mind-blowing.
So 6 years later, you can still see that effect on that country. And the fact that we've done it on our property, it's just very rewarding.
Initially, before we started with gullies, you just think it's an isolated thing. You're going to have to spend all this time and money on this one small patch of country, even though it's your land going away. But with the tools and using the large number of cattle, it actually becomes part of your everyday operations as you move the cattle through the landscape. And so you're just incorporating it and just changing and tweaking how you're managing that little section within that paddock. And that was a game changer for then expanding out to any gully we want to tend to. It's not some big thing that takes you away from other things. It's just going to be part of our journey. We'd had the opportunity with that trial to try something and then see that result. And it's the drive of seeing that result. We felt it, we walked through it, we lived and breathed every step of that little journey. And so what that produced and what it was going to do for our business down the track, if we could extrapolate that out across the landscape, that was a huge driver. And like in our industry, it's all about droughts and floods and peak markets and lows in the market. And so there's all this boom and bust, and there's no future in riding a boom and bust wave. Whereas if you can create a upward steady trend of existence in your business and in the environment, this just seemed to tick all those boxes to be able to provide that. When we went through that journey of creating that context, he was there and he kept asking the questions, the why, what do you see, and helped us dive through all the layers and to really get to the core fundamentals of how we want to exist in life and what we want to achieve. And without that one-on-one support at that crucial moment, I question, I guess, the strength of what we've created in our context may not have been as strong as what we did create because of it.
To have someone one-on-one here on our property go through that with me personally, I think it was really the turning point for me to be able to do what we have done.
We like to get off property and go to events that we can then learn from. It's stimulating and it grows you. The most beneficial thing I think for both of us is that when you have consultants come in and you can discuss what you're doing, what you're seeing on, you can't do that off farm, because you can't explain the way the grass is doing this or the plant's done that, or the animals look like this. And so that just leapfrogs you. And over the last probably 3 years, NQ Dry Tropics has really incorporated a lot of one-day consulting support, I guess, on different ones with soil, David Hardwick, and then your grazing aspects.
Christine Jones.
They are the game changers for us as we move forward in being able to then actually straight away implement and grow, and then implement and grow. And it might only be once a year you have that. It's the game changer for moving forward in our industry. We've come into Glenalpine here with very much a business focus as opposed to a lifestyle, and that's just who we are and how we've progressed along. The transition into the understanding of the soil and what the animals can do, and then understanding even more about how the microbes in the soil communicate and what it's going to do, and the fact that our landscape is healing and life begets life, it's just growing and growing, and to be able to do that hand in hand for me is the biggest motivator of all.
For sure, getting up doing this every day is financially very rewarding. It's more rewarding than what I ever thought was possible. Like getting up and going out and hearing the birds going off every morning and every night, and you go around a waterhole or a spring or something at lunchtime, and to realise that you're a part of that life and you could be promoting it or you could be decreasing it, it's a very big motivator. Happiness in this career and the fulfilment in this career that Leanne and I have been able to be a part of, because we're a part of nature, we're a part of animals, that's our business. And if everything is progressing forward in health and they're happy, it's just good to be a part of. It makes you feel good yourself.